So first of all, some general things. Your cleaver speed. So the cleaver speed is about 100 miles per hour on the average. And then this is a elite man's average, including tour players, teaching professionals, and college players. So the average is about 110, and yours is about 100. So about 90%.
Yeah, working on it.
And then for your height, it's a bit better. When we normalize this to body height, then this gap is a bit narrower than this one here.
Oh, got it.
So, and then overall swing time here, 1 is the beginning of the backswing, and then 0 second here. This is impact. So this is slight over 1 second, or close to 1.1 second. And then I want you to shorten this. So in other words, backswing should be a bit faster.
Faster. Okay.
Backswing should be faster. And then your club, when I read the club numbers, your swing weight is too high. It's about D9.
Really? Oh, I didn't
For,
even check it.
for amateur players, it's too high.
Yeah, okay.
So try to keep it around D4, maybe at most a D5, but
Why?
it's D9.
Okay. Maybe just get a different head or something.
Or you have to look at the extra weight on the head. You may want to use a bit lighter one.
Yeah, because the PXGs you can modify. Okay, understood. Thank you.
Yeah, but the club numbers are a bit high. When the swing weight is high, that means either it's longer than usual, or the club head is heavier. Then it's hard to control the club motion,
Got it.
particularly when your speed is not that high. Like in baseball, the home run, in order to make a home run, then you have to be strong, but you also have to hold the bat long, right? But if you're not strong enough and then you try to hold it long, and you cannot really handle it that well. But they go short, they choke up. And then the same thing, if your speed is not that high, you're then using heavier or higher swing weight club, that's not a good idea. It just makes it more difficult.
Got it.
Unless you are really strong. But if you're strong, you can handle the club well, then your club speed should be a lot higher than this.
Got it.
So, and then also here, this is the club speed during the backswing. So from here to here, it's almost symmetric here, right? But actually, I want you to have a gradual increase here and then reach the peak angular velocity more on this side here.
So you're saying?
So currently, you're accelerating the club head and then decelerating the club head almost symmetrically here.
Got it.
But instead, gradually, slowly start here, but then as you approach the end of the backswing, make it faster.
Oh.
So that means put more effort toward the end of the backswing
Okay.
instead of just moving this and then slowing down
Got it.
at a similar pace.
Got it.
So then this graph will shift this way. The peak will shift this way here.
Got it.
And then in the downswing, then instead of it's going just straight like this, it will initially go this way and then rapidly increasing after that.
But the entire backswing needs to be faster. But then the later part of it needs to be faster.
More active. So
More accurate.
as if you're angry. Okay? You're angry when you try to hit something hard. Then you're angry and then could wind up here and then try it instead of a quick motion and then try to do something.
Got it.
So usually what happens is in the backswing, because you're starting the backswing from almost a stationary position, so it's easy to spin around. So you have an early quick motion, but then slow down quite a bit here.
Got it.
Then you cannot connect the backswing to downswing that way. So rather, it's okay to start a bit slowly in the backswing, but then have more effort so that speed up and then change the direction.
Got it. Okay.
So later when we look at the kinematic sequence, then you will see the effect of this. But now this is the top view. So currently your swing plane is outward. So this large rectangle shows the swing plane. This is based on the club head motion.
Got it.
But since you are hitting up, so actually at impact, the direction the club head is moving is more toward the target here. So this may not be too bad. But this is, in terms of angle, this is a bit too much outward.
Like inside out.
Yeah, it's 8.8 degrees. It's a bit too much.
Got it.
So if you keep it maybe 2 degrees, 3 degrees, that's okay. But 8.8 degrees outward, this is a bit too much.
Got it.
And then the hand motion plane is also slightly outward here. This smaller rectangle is calculated from the hand motion. It's slightly outward, and then it's 4.6 degrees outward, which is not too bad. But generally, you tend to move the hands and the club head more outward, into out. And then this is the swing plane. So everything is aligned along the swing plane here. So this straight line here, this is swing plane, calculated from the club head motion here.
Got it.
And then so in the backswing, you're moving the club head above the swing plane here, and then drop it. So here you have a shallowing, and then bring this down here. But here, you can see that this is slightly into-out path here. So when you have this kind of into-out path on the way down, your right heel is leaving the ground early.
Too early.
So you cannot use the right leg that well. So the overall shallowing pattern is reasonable. Go high up and then dropping this naturally. So by the time you reach the top of backswing position, already you have a good amount of shallowing here. This is reasonable. But the only thing is that your swing plane is a bit steep compared, considering your height. So your height is about 179 centimeters, and the swing plane is slightly steeper than that. So if you have a bit flatter swing plane, then actually this shape will be a lot better. But I think that's okay in terms of slope.
Is that the downswing swing plane or the
It's a
overall
downswing
swing
plane.
swing
Yeah,
plane? Got it.
the main thing is the downswing plane here. But you do have a reasonable shallowing strategy here. Now, let's take a look at the center of mass portion here. So this red line shows the center of mass of the whole body. So it is moving away. This is the toward direction. This is the away direction.
Okay.
This is the frontal view here. So your center of mass is moving away and going slightly up, and going down, and then going up here. In general, the pattern is reasonable. But I want you, if you can move this a bit higher here in the backswing, that means you have to use the right leg well here. So initially when you start, you have shifting motion here. And then from this point on, what happens is you are dropping the lead side here instead of supporting the trail side well.
Oh.
So up until this point, it's reasonable, but then what you do here is just dropping the lead side here.
So it's almost like it's like a fake turn.
So just to try to keep the pelvis here more on the right side here.
Got it.
So the right leg goes more this way, and then the pelvis here, the left leg is extended like this.
Got it.
So if you can keep the pelvis more on this side here, that'd be nice. But because the pelvis is, the lead side is dropping and the pelvis is going this way slightly, the upper body is inclined away from the target.
Got it.
But if you keep the pelvis more this way, then the spine will be also aligned fairly vertically here.
Got it.
Your pelvis is located here. Then the right leg will be able to support the body well. So the center of mass actually goes a bit higher.
Got it. So it's like load more on the okay. I understand.
And then the green line is the pelvis center of mass. And then it goes away and it comes down here first and then shift and then go up. But in your case, it's diagonally downward motion here. That means your pelvis is going this way a bit early.
Oh, got it. Maybe that's why I feel like I
So,
get ahead of it sometimes.
yeah, so turn around here, and then you have to stay well supported by the right leg, but because you're dropping the lead side slightly, so the pelvis is more moving this way, so the pelvis is going this way here.
So in the ideal pattern, that green line should go down.
So more down this way, and then horizontal, and then going up here.
Understood.
And then the pelvis motion, this is the pelvis motion. The lower one is the rotational motion of the pelvis. The upper one is linear motion. So the red line here in the lower one, this shows the rotation. And then, so you are starting the backswing with this slightly rotated position here. So at the beginning of the backswing, your pelvis is already rotated this way, in the backward direction.
Like closed?
Your pelvis is more, you're starting this way, instead of actually open position here.
Got it.
So this actually need to stay on this side here. So when the pelvis is initially in this position, when the pelvis slightly open toward the target here, then when you turn, you can reduce the rotation here. But you're already, this is already turned this way.
Going. Yeah.
It's easy to drop the pelvis instead of having well supported pelvis
Got
here.
it.
So yeah, this is a bit unusual. You're starting from the closed position, and then rotating to this position here.
Okay.
And then at impact, you are turning a bit less. This is men's average. It's a fairly balanced, but and then this blue line shows a lateral tilt of the pelvis. This pattern looks reasonable here. So initially it's almost horizontal. The pelvis is located horizontal, and then the left side is dropping, and then so it's left tilt, and then at impact you have right tilt. So that means the left side is higher than the right side at impact, which is good. But now this is a bit unusual here. The red line shows a forward backward motion of the pelvis. And then what should happen is the pelvis moves forward, backward, and then forward. But in your case, the pelvis is moving backward slightly, just stays there forever. And then right before the impact, it's moving forward, the red line here. So this is a bit unusual. The green pattern and the blue, these are reasonable, but the red one, the forward backward motion is
So you mean forward, backwards, as in like this way, or is it
this way here. So when you're standing there, then in this direction.
Oh, okay, this direction. Oh, so mine goes back. I guess.
Yeah. So from the beginning, you're going backward, and it stays there. So instead of going forward, slightly backward, and the forward more. So when your pelvis is, when your hip is well supported, then large force is acting on this side during the backswing. So this doesn't move forward backward that much, but this can easily move forward as you turn. So then if this moves forward more than this, then the pelvis center of mass moves forward. So always when you actually turn the pelvis, then the pelvis center of mass tends to move forward if that particular side is well supported. So during the backswing, this will serve as your foundation. In the downswing, this side will serve as your foundation. So in the downswing, this is supported and this goes forward more. So the red line should go forward, slightly backward, and forward again, but it's pretty much going slightly backward and stay there all the way here. That means instead of using the legs actively, you're using more the upper body. Part of the reason your speed is not that high is because of that. You tend to have more upper body driven, arm driven swing here.
Got it.
So when the legs are really active, then this will change. And then X factor here. This is a separation between the hips and shoulders here. So this is red line, as a yellow line is the shoulder line. Blue is the hip line here. And then
So that's saying that even at address, my hips are already closed, right?
Yeah, so here, the two lines are parallel to each other, so the X factor is 0.
Got it.
And then, so from now on, the shoulder will turn more than the hip line here. So it shows this X shape here.
Yeah.
So this torsional separation is called X factor. So X factor keeps increasing up to this point here. So with this slope here, but the slope changes. So up to this point, you're moving the upper body mainly here. And after that, upper body and lower body turn together. This is when you start dropping the lead side here. And then both are turning together, so X factor does not increase as much.
Oh.
And then, so about here, so 5 is the end of pelvis rotation. So this is the pelvis transition point. So once the pelvis starts rotating toward the target, then you have a further increase in the X factor here because the pelvis is opening, and then it starts going up again. And then the maximum occurs after the top of action. This is the top of action. This is the maximum X factor here. And you have this change in slope, and then another increase here. This typically means the backswing is weak. And then, so you have to start the downswing with the early opening of the pelvis.
So ideally,
You should pretty straight and going all the way up to the top of backswing, and then it starts decreasing.
Got it.
Also, the magnitude is not that large here. So in your pattern, initially the shoulders turn quite a bit up to this point, and then shoulder slows down, and then pelvis and shoulder turn together. So almost no increase in the X factor here. And then as the pelvis starts opening here, then the X factor increases more. Then the shoulder catches up, so it starts decreasing. And then, so when you have active backswing, faster backswing, then it automatically shows a more continuous increase here.
Got it.
So this is called the early separation. But probably the main thing that we will see here is this is the kinematic sequence here. Kinematic sequence basically means angular velocity patterns, so rotational velocities. In this graph, we have several lines. Red is pelvis or the hip line. So everything is observed on the swing plane. So how quickly these body parts turn on the swing plane. So this is the pelvis, and then green is the thorax, blue is the shoulders. But as you can see, the shoulder and the thorax and shoulder reaches peak angular velocity in the backswing here, quite early, even before the pelvis. So you have an early shoulder motion. And then, so from this point on, the thorax and shoulder motion will decrease. So it gets slower, but then still your pelvis angular velocity is increasing. That's why the X factor decreases, or the slope, becomes flatter. And then this gray line is the arms. The arms reach peak angular velocity here. The club head reaches peak angular velocity here. The club reaches peak angular here. So these are switched. The gray line and this pinkish line here, this one should reach peak earlier, and then this one here. But your club reaches a peak angular velocity earlier than the arms in the backswing. So your backswing sequences are screwed up here. But if you increase the backswing speed, this changes. That you will be able to have a better sequence. And also here, when these lines cross the horizontal axis, then that's the transition point. So negative values means that the body is rotating in the backswing direction. Positive value means it's rotating in the downswing direction. So when it goes from negative to positive, these are the transition points. So here we have the transition sequence. But if you look at the thorax and the shoulders here, they reach peak angular velocity and then decreases. And then here, there's another peak here, near the top of action here. So you have almost like a two-stage motion here. instead of one continuous motion. And as I said, you need to be angry toward the end of the backswing, and then going down here. But you have an early action, and then slow down quite a bit here, and then just try to go down. So you need to have a more active motion here toward the end of the backswing, so that this can increase slowly but reach the peak values later, and then decrease and then continuously transitions to the downswing motion. But we have this change in the slope here. This is unusual here. So from here to here, you have unnecessary movement to here. It's just a bit simple going this way and then keep going. But it goes down and then it decreases and then suddenly increase a little bit more and then change the direction here. So this section is unnecessary. Okay. But if you have a faster backswing, then this can be solved. So up to this point, we have a deceleration. But then here something happens because you are dropping the club head here. You are introducing the wrist motion here, dropping the club head. So initially early shoulder turn, and then you continue motion up to this point. If you maintain this motion with a similar level of integrity here, go up and slow down and coming down, then you want to have this one here. But go up here and then you're letting the club go up more here because you want to do this. So from this point on, you will see that your wrist motion is increasing here. Yeah. This is to pull this down right away. Go up here and then try to do this.
That's not ideal though, right? Or just maintaining and then
Yeah, using the momentum of the body, you can create more separation and then change the direction and then let it go instead of.
got it.
That's why you have this section here. And then the pink line here, this is wrist angular velocity. And then the wrist goes positive at this point here. This is the beginning of the uncocking. So this is somewhere between top of backswing and then this EDA. This is when the lead arm is paired to the ground.
Okay.
From the top to this position here.
Got it.
So somewhere in between those two, so about midpoint here, you have a transition to uncocking.
The wrist transition.
Yeah. But this could be delayed a bit more here.
Got it.
And then the timing of the peak angular velocity here, slightly delayed here, but I think this is okay. So the main problem is from the backswing to downswing, the transition is not that good here. And then by increasing the backswing speed, you can have a better transition from backswing to downswing. And then particularly the shoulders, the thorax and the shoulders, they reach peak angular velocity too early in the backswing. So when you start the backswing, then you're moving with the shoulder and thorax motion first. That's why they reach the peak angular velocity early.
Got it.
So either they are reaching the peak angular velocity, at the same time with the pelvis in the backswing, or it should be slightly later. So particularly the shoulder angular velocity should reach the peak value later than the pelvis and the thorax. But in your case, it's early here. But by using continuous motion and then have more active motion, you can change the way you move your body. So it shouldn't be too much of a problem. And then this is the frontal plane mechanics here. So you see all these arrows here. These are the ground reaction forces. The force acting on the right foot or tray foot, the force acting on the leader foot, and that this is the combined force. The red dot here is the center of mass. So when you start the backswing, as you can see, this point is called the center pressure, but it is a shifting toward the trail foot because you have a lot more force acting on the trail side here. So the position of this point here reflects the ratio of the vertical forces. So it's close to the trail side. Up to this point, this is okay. Now, about here, about here, so if you look at the middle graph here, this is the magnitude of the force. So red line is the combined force. Blue is the force acting on the trail side. And then the green line is the force acting on the lead side.
Okay.
So you have most of the force acting on the trail side here. But this red line should also go higher here. The unit here is the body weight, okay? One body weight. So you will start with around one body weight. And then at this point, when you have most push using the trail side, the net force, the total force, also should be a lot greater than the body weight. So it has to go a bit more here. So you must have a net push instead of just redistributing the weight. So but it stays close to the body weight here. This has to go higher. And then once you have a good push, then what will happen is that the red line will go below the body weight line. It's called the unweighting. And then we need to see continuous unweighting here. But what happens is you have a little bit unweighting going back to the one body weight and then unweighting again. But this unweighting just stays here. This is the endopelvis rotation. And then suddenly here you try to increase the unweighting again, and then push here. So this section is what we talked about earlier. So you have hesitation here. So because of that, in the kinematic sequence pattern, you had another peak, small peak coming up. It's because you are hesitating here. So here we need to see continuous unweighting all the way to top of action, and then going up here, instead of hesitation like this.
So it should be like more weight or
More
pressure,
unweighting,
right? Or more pressure early.
Yeah,
then
you push harder here,
yeah.
and then after that you unweight here, continuous unweighting. But so here what we see here is that in the backswing up to this point, so the center pressure shifts to the trail side, and then the force is inclining slightly toward the target. Now, so the red dot is the center of mass of the whole body, which serves as the center of rotation of the whole body. And then the force is passing, near the center of mass here. This gap is called the moment arm.
Moment arm?
Yeah, moment arm. So imagine you are using a wrench.
Oh, okay.
Try to rotate something. Then the distance from the center of rotation to where your hand is, this is the moment arm. So the longer, the better.
Yeah, the more leverage, right? Yeah. So but mine is really close.
Yeah, the moment arm, or is called the lever arm. But so this separation should be relatively long. And then when you multiply the force magnitude and this moment arm, that gives the torque you generate in the frontal plane by using the ground. If the moment arm is short, then you cannot generate that much torque. The torque is the cause of rotational acceleration. So if you want to generate the fast rotational motion, then you have to accelerate the body rotationally. For that, you need a large torque. So at this stage, you have to actually increase the momentum quite a bit to increase the torque here. But now again, because of the hesitation here, what happens is, so about here, the force is passing through the center of mass. So the momentum is zero. No momentum. So the torque is zero. Zero momentum, zero torque here. But after that, the force has to continuously incline. Instead of it's moving toward the center, it should stay on this side here, but the force has to incline. With that, the momentum should increase continuously, but it kind of plateaus here.
Hesitation again.
It's because the force stays more vertical here. When the force is vertical, that means you have similar amount of force acting here, and then particularly the horizontal forces are all canceled out. So the total force is more vertical here, and it's passing near the center of mass. So the momentum is really short.
It's almost like in the backswing, I can be more aggressive, and then
You have to use the right leg.
and then more aggressive on the downswing.
So in the backswing, if you use the right leg well, then more force will act on the trail side. So center of pressure will stay this side. Particularly if you push the ground down and more laterally, then the ground reaction force, this force will incline more. With that, this force also inclines. So when the force inclines like this, then you have a lot longer gap here. Then the momentum increases quite a bit. Then the torque will increase quite a bit. But here, the momentum is almost at zero because the force stays upright here up to this point. Now you start increasing this force here, force on the trail side. So now it is shifting back to a trail side, but still is passing close to the center of mass here. So the momentum is still short.
Yeah.
This is when the pelvis rotation is completed, right? But this at this point, this force should go more this way here.
Got it.
So you have a longer momentum, and then the computer. So when it's running on the battery, then it's kind of slow because I'm running several programs at once. So at this point here, this should incline well so that you have a relatively long momentum here. So from end of pelvis rotation, this is a pelvis transition point. This is top of backswing. Between here, these two, so it rapidly increases. But actually at the pelvis transition point, this should be longer here. So it should increase more this way instead of plateaus here and then try to increase this rapidly here.
Got it.
So at this point, now you see the force is inclined. So if you extend this line here, then the gap becomes a bit longer. So now we're here. So with that, the torque is increasing. And in the downswing, this is when the momentum is the longest, when you have the most separation here. And then this is the torque you generate at this point. But now the problem is, the momentum, it increases rapidly and then also decreases rapidly. As a result, the torque goes above the man's average maximum here, above here, but then it rapidly decreases here. Now zero torque here, because the force is passing through the center of mass again. This is because of incorrect timing. Your body acts, so this is maximum force here, and then quickly the force drops here. So at the impact, you have a lot of unweighting here. No need to jump. It's almost a jumping-like action. No need to do that. So when this happens, then you're pushing the ground hard. It's too hard, actually. Okay? So this is not well translated to torque. The bottom line is you have to generate a reasonable amount of torque for a relatively longer period of time. But torque is increased and then rapidly decreasing here because you lose the momentum rapidly, as you can see here.
Yeah.
So at impact, you actually have to stand on the lead side here instead of quick action. You can push here and then going into this position, swing and then stand on the lead side.
I'm going backwards, right?
So near the impact, you will see the forces are similar to each other. So the center pressure stays in the middle. And then because you are pushing the ground in this direction, the force is acting in this direction. The force is actually going away and it's passing the left side of the center of mass. So torque is actually in the opposite direction. So, but the main thing is here, the hesitation here. So your initial backswing motion and then the downswing, these are not well connected here. So again, have the image of being angry toward the end of the backswing. And then, so when, imagine you are hitting something hard or you hit somebody that you really hate, then instead of, you don't hit like that. Rather, When you are really angry, then you'll wind up here. Using
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
try to hit hard.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The golf swing, the same thing. So you have to put more effort near the end of the backswing instead of early on here. But the problem is because we are starting the backswing from this stationary position, so it's easy to spin. So it's easy to introduce the early quick motion here, but then later you have to slow down. That's quite a. But instead, by using the body, initially slow, but then you're bringing this up to have good wind up here.
Okay.
So that's what I see here. And then so you need to speed up backswing, and then have a more active push using the trail side at this stage here.
And pushing down,
So you're pushing down and then laterally out,
out, like,
so to the right, yeah.
oh, okay.
Then the force will be up and then also inward here.
Like this way. Got
So you have to load onto this side well. But if the hip goes backward too much, you cannot push the ground hard with the trail leg here. So essentially what you need to do is stand on the right side, good here, and then angry, and then good wind up here. So at this stage you have to have a good support from the right leg here. Then let it go.
Got it.
Instead of quick motion, and then
Oh, yeah. Okay.
so then it gives us a two-stage motion here. So usually it's easy to spin, because in order to introduce a spinning motion, all you need is to push the ground forward backward in the opposite direction using the feet. So when you push the ground that way with the right, and then the opposite with the left, then your body turns this way. So you can quickly turn. This is easy. But what we need in the backswing is a more body-driven backswing. So initially move the body here, and then bring this up here. Angry, wind up, and then let it go. So as this goes up, you are shifting slightly toward target, and then push the ground with the lead leg well. Stand on the lead side. In the backswing, stand on the right side, and then in the downswing, stand on the lead side. So if you spin here, when you try to hit this way,
Some like reverse pivot almost. A little bit.
yeah. So you need a more active push on here, and then good connected transition to the downswing here. But this phase is too long. So rather you can have a slow initiation of the backswing, but here you have to have a continuous transition from backswing to downswing, and then so have the image of being angry. Really wind up and try to hit something hard.
Okay.
So image a big drum in front of you. When you try to hit it really hard and the boom, make a loud sound, for that you have to really have good wind up, and using that you are hitting instead of you don't use it, just this. So but if you speed up the backswing, then big portion of this will go away.
Okay.
Yeah, and then also because of the faster motion, because of the momentum, automatically you have better connection from backswing to downswing. So always try to move the body first here.
Oh, in the takeaway.
In the backswing,
Got it.
more body-driven backswing, and then you're angry toward the end of the backswing, and then going down instead of early quick action, and then going down here.
Is this a pattern you see like quite often, where like the backswing is too slow or it's not body?
This is a general trend. So a lot of people, even a lot of instructors, teach that way. So slow backswing, but slow backswing can cause a lot of trouble. When your motion is slow, then you can introduce all sorts of things. When the motion is faster, it's more directed. Imagine you're fishing, using a fishing pole here, pull and then throw. All you do is move the hook back and then forward. And then as you have continuous motion, you maintain good tension in the string so that you can control the motion of the hook by using this, right? But if you lose the tension, then when the the rod moves quickly, it does not respond right away because you don't have good tension there.
Right.
So in order to control the hook motion well, then you have to, more than anything, you have to maintain good tension here. The same thing, maintain good tension and then go down instead of quick motion and then just the easy, slow action here. That you lose the tension here. So then on the way down, if your body tries to move, but this does not respond at the right time. So good tension developed, and then your goal is to throw the club head in the downswing instead of the body quickly moves.
Yeah.
So you see, up to this point, you're turning the body, but from this point on, you're just letting the club go easy here.
Yeah, my turn's already
So
done.
pretty much your body turn is done here. And then you see, now your body is not doing much. So this is hesitation phase here. All you do is just lifting the arm and then let the club go here.
Yeah.
But rather, this whole motion should be well connected. The acceleration, deceleration. It's a well integrated motion like that instead of.
Understood.
So the benefit of continuous motion, then when you have a continuous motion and the active continuous motion, then you will be able to actively slow this down.
Okay.
Then you can maintain the tension so that on the way down, you can control the club motion right away. And your goal is to throw the club. And then particularly your club head is a bit heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the swing weight is D9. I just checked it while you were in the restroom. It was D9. It's for the amateur, that's the highest that I've ever seen.
I didn't. Yeah, I bought the head used, so I didn't even check. So yeah. Okay.
So it's important to be able to release the head. If the head is too heavy, then you tend to drag it.
Got it.
Okay. So again, if we move this continuously here, the body turn is completed, and then here, the body is not doing much, and then you're just, it's an arm and
Right. Excess.
arm and club motion here. Because you're not doing much here, so the force is upright here. But if your body is continuously interacting with the ground and you have active slowdown, at this stage, the force will go more this way here. So this is the main thing.
Got it.
And then here, you're opening the body early. This opening will increase the X factor a bit more after the top of action. But then you're pushing the ground, and then now this is following behind here. Push, and then move the arms here. So the timing is not right. So your goal should be by using the legs and then throw the club head here instead of quick body motion and then doing this. That's why you cannot really catch your body action. Your body action should promote good, fast rotation of the club, right? Or the club speed. So your goal is to go up, maintain the tension, and then throw. This is your goal. Instead of, so quick motion, the timing is not right. So your lower body action, upper body action, off time.
Got it.
Yeah. So have the image of throwing whichever device you use. For example, if you use a stick like that, that white ball, your goal is to throw that white ball fast instead of moving your body.
Yeah. It's like I'm moving my body fast, but then that slows down.
So it's not well translated to the club motion.
Yeah.
And then particularly that device, because it has holes, so when you swing faster, then it will make a high-pitched whoosh sound. So with that, you have feedback. So your goal is making a high-pitched whoosh sound.
Okay.
So this is what I see. Any questions?
No, like, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess I start with like better backswing sequence, right? Or like body driven more and then loading up on the right leg.
So imagine that you have a rubber band and with a mass attached, And then when you move the mass up and down, then the rubber band will be stretched and then shortened, stretched and shortened, and then you can actually feel the motion of this thing, and then you can actually control the motion of it. But if you lose the control, your hand is moving, and that this is also moving on its own, then the timing is not right. Your goal is to move that thing, even if it's a stretching, but still you can move the mass attached to the rubber band by making the right well-timed motion here, right? So your goal is to throw the end of the club fast instead of having off time motion.